Whether you're buying a condo or you already own one, that thick stack of documents that you get when you first purchase can be pretty damn intimidating. But I'll tell you what, after watching this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and where to look to find the important information that's actually in that thick stack of documents. So stay tuned. Association documents. Seriously, when you're purchasing a condo or you already own one, you probably have this thick stack of documents that's either sitting in a drawer somewhere or you got it as a PDF and it's just sitting in one of your folders from your email inbox or something like that. But there's some important information in there that you really need to know. When you're purchasing a condo or a townhouse that has an association, you have a 10-day right of rescission in order to review those documents. But oftentimes, when I'm working with a buyer of a condo or a townhouse, they don't even know where to look or what to even look for. So I get this question all the time, and I want to clarify some things here to really simplify what it is that you're looking for so that when you are buying a condo or you already live in one, you want to know where to find some answers, you know exactly where to look. All right. First part, it's probably going to be on the first few pages. So when you get that thick stack of documents, a lot of those first pages are going to be things like declarations and when the association came to be. Like, let's say you live in a condo and it was converted from apartments. A lot of times your association documents are going to have some long essay formatted sort of deal that's going to tell you exactly how it came to be, who voted it in, who were the original members, what was the date it was registered with whoever it needs to be registered, and it's going to give you some information on the management contact. That's all important stuff. Yes, it's good to know. It's good to know that your association is legit, basically, is what that's letting you know. But in all honesty, when it comes down to what you can and cannot do with your place, whether you have a condo or a townhouse, those first few pages aren't going to really do much for you except to let you know and give you proof that the association is actually registered and legit. So the first thing that you're going to want to look for is going to be the resale disclosure certificate. On that, what you're going to get is information on whether or not your unit, if it's a condo, has a parking stall included, either 1, 2, 3, however many parking stalls you have. Information on your assigned storage space, if it's one of those included. And then, of course, you got your association dues and what's included in that. So that's really, really important to know, obviously, because you want to know what you're paying and what's included in it. So that'll be on that resale disclosure. It'll usually be within the first few pages, and it's a couple of pages long. And also, it's required as you're buying a place that you have to sign that and turn it in with all the title paperwork, because buying a place with an association and coming into that association is almost like joining a membership. So you have to sign it, and you've got to make sure that you've acknowledged everything that's on that resale disclosure certificate, so you know. So make sure you take a look at that closely, understand where things are. The management contact information will also be on there, so if you have questions about anything, you could be able to call the management association, the management company, as long as you're purchasing that place and you've got the association documents with you. So those are the things that you want to look for there. Second part, super important, rules and regulations, bylaws. A lot of condos have a lot of different condos and townhouses have a lot of different things that you can or cannot do with the unit in particular. So for a townhouse, for example, a lot of management companies and associations will kind of manage the exterior of your townhouse, and that all needs to pretty much stay uniform. So things that I often see pop up on there are rules about how long you can have your garbage cans and things like that sitting out front on garbage day, what you can and cannot put on your front door or your front stoop or your porch or whatever that may be. There could be some rules and regulations around that. So you want to make sure that you look at that and make sure you don't violate any of those rules and regs, because oftentimes there's a fine involved. And if you get a letter, you get some sort of nasty gram about anything that you've got going on outside your place, then you can potentially be fined for that. Other things with condos and townhouses really are whether or not there are any rental restrictions. So a lot of times people purchase condos and townhouses with the intent of renting them out later on down the line. You want to be sure that rentals are allowed, for one, and then also if there are rentals allowed, whether or not there's a certain percentage of the units that can be occupied by owners or by tenants, because oftentimes what that'll do is that'll impact the type of financing that the association will allow for other people purchasing. So that's something you want to pay attention to, so that you understand the potential if you're able to rent out a place and do that and use it as a potential investment down the line. So if that's your plan, that's definitely something that you want to look for. And if it doesn't allow it, using that 10-day right of rescission, you can take a look at that and you can rescind your offer and you can go look at another place. Another thing, pet owners, hugely, very, very important here. Pet owners, if there are pet restrictions, breed restrictions, weight restrictions, the number of pets you can have, or whether or not you can have dogs, cats, or whatever, associations can put a rule in place that you can't have pets, or you can only have a certain type of pet or a certain number or a certain size pet. So make sure if you're a pet owner and you're going into purchase a condo or a townhouse that you pay attention to those and you abide by those rules, because you can be fined, or they can pretty much tell you that you got to go. So associations hold quite a bit of power, and you want to make sure that you're abiding by that. So if you have that 10-day right of rescission and you've got a pet and it doesn't fit those restrictions, you don't want to get rid of your pet, but you definitely have the right to take your offer away and go find a place that's going to give you the right to keep your pet, keep that family member. And last, but certainly not least, but the reason why I put this in this order is because this is usually the order that you'll find them in, is the financial statement. Now, this will look like a long list of just numbers, and probably some pretty big numbers, especially if you've got a large complex, lots of townhouses, lots of condos, and lots of people paying association dues. What you want to look for on a financial statement specifically is whether or not there's been a reserve established for projects or potential projects down the line. Not to say that if you don't have a reserve that there's necessarily a red flag, but what it is that it can definitely tell you whether or not there's going to be some sort of assessment assigned to your unit or your condo, and that may impact the amount of association dues that you pay over a certain amount of time. So oftentimes what I've seen are some of the condos that maybe just completed a large project, if they're doing some maintenance or some updating of certain areas, they'll use those reserves in order to complete that project. But if they don't have enough, then that assessment is then passed on to the people that are paying into the dues. So that means the residents of that condo or townhouse, and that can either raise your dues a couple $100 a month. They can give you the option to pay it off all at once, or it can make those dues skyrocket. I've seen some crazy things out there with some pretty big projects that go on, and so you got to have a really good understanding of why those dues can change and things like that, especially when it comes down to those reserves. The other thing that you can look for in there is if there's been any foreclosures or anything like that based on people not paying, and that way that can just give you an overall outlook of the health of what that association is as far as financially goes. So look, again, now you know where to look and what to look for when you get those association dues. And remember, if you're buying a condo, you have a 10-day right of rescission in order to look through those documents and make sure that everything is up to par with what you're expecting to get when you move into your new place. So definitely take that time, take that 10 days, look through those main things, because those are going to be the things that impact the way that you can move into and enjoy your new place. And if you're currently living in a condo or townhouse and you haven't taken a look at those things, and maybe you've gotten a few fines or some letters or some nasty letters from the association management, make sure you go back and check out those things in that thick stack of documents that you've got laying in a drawer, or in the documents that you have sitting off in one of the email folders that you got for the PDF. And once you have that and once you know where to look, you can go easily find those answers, and you don't have to be living in the dark anymore. If you like this video, please do me a favor, like it, subscribe to my channel. You'll get plenty of weekly information if you're buying or selling a home, lots of tips and tricks. And if you're currently in the market for a condo, click the link below. I've got a full list updated daily of condos coming on the market here in Minneapolis, any townhouses as well. So if you're in the market, make sure that you click on that link. And also, if you have any questions or want to set up a free consultation with me, you can do so by clicking the link below to join my virtual office hours. I look forward to working with you. Thanks so much for watching.